Hey guys, this is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems. Thank you for once again coming back home, family. For those of you that happen to be new here, welcome. I definitely hope that you hear something today that will persuade you to stay. If you have not already done so, exactly what are you waiting for? The subscribe button, like the video, comment down below, share it to your social media platforms. That's not going to be long. Just want to historically prove that Yahushua or Jesus is not king. There was no king through the Israelite lineage sitting on the throne during the time of Yahushua. In fact, this is exactly the King Messiah that the Israelites were awaiting to come, which is why the Karaite Israelites who were present at Matthew 24 did not identify him with the Son of God, nor the Mashiach that was being awaited for. The Messiah that was being awaited for would become King of Judah in some sense, but we could point back to Hezekiah for this because we know that the regathering of the remnant of Judah, Simeon, and Levi came through King Hezekiah. When we began to look at exactly what they were looking for, the Israelites were looking for a Messiah to come in and to wage war against Rome because they were under Roman captivity. In the book of Daniel, the 9th chapter, it begins to talk about the statue. Let me see, Daniel 9. And it begins to describe the precursors and the different kingdoms that will be set up in rule over the Israelites during this time. So when we begin to look at Daniel 9, let me see. 70 weeks are determined upon thy holy people and upon thy holy city to flourish the transgression and to make end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. It's very important to know that Yahushua did not say that and the prophets were until John. He did not seal up the prophecies. He said in the original Hebrew, and the prophets spoke of John. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, the wall even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince shall come destroy the city and the sanctuary. So I'm not about to explain all of this breakdown because the 70 weeks in Jeremiah, so on and so forth, has a lot to do with the different captivities that began to take place. Let me see something. In the Bible. So when we began to look at the book of Daniel, Daniel was taken into captivity by Nebuchadnezzar II of Babylon in 605 BC, and they renamed him Belshazzar. It's very important to know that during his time, the last king of Judah was in reign. His name was Zedekiah. Zedekiah was actually born in 618. My birthday is June 18th. In Jerusalem. And was the 20th and final king of Judah before the destruction of Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar II. His birth name was Mattaniah or Mattanyahu, meaning gift of Elohim. And so after the siege of Jerusalem in 597 BC, Nebuchadnezzar disposed King Joniah and instilled his uncle Mattanyahu instead, changing his name to Zedekiah. This can be found in 2 Kings 24 and 17. And the prophet Jeremiah was his counselor, yet he did not heed the prophet and his ephod. Yes, he did evil in the sight of the Most High. This is 2 Kings 24, verse 19 through 20, and Jeremiah 52 and 2 through 3. So Jeremiah was prophesying the Babylonian captivity. It's very, very important to know this. The defeat of the Neo-Assyrian Empire in 612 BC at the Battle of Nineveh by the Neo-Babylonian Empire caused the upheavals that led to the destruction of the kingdom of Judah. So I really shouldn't have to read much else concerning this. This literally just let y'all know who the last king was. And in fact, the Bible begins to tell us that King Herod was the king of Judea during the time of Yahushua. Herod, or Herod the Great, was a Roman Jewish. Okay, so he was part Nabatean, part tribe of Benjamin. So he was an Arab. And the Benjaminites took over the priesthood and the kingship during the second symbol, doing away with the Levites and Judah, who the kingship was passed on to. And this is due to the fact that Persians, Assyrians, Babylonians, Elamites, Rechabites, Nabateans, and Egyptians had entered into the priesthood. He is known for his colossal building projects throughout Judea. Among these works are the rebuilding of the Second Temple in Jerusalem and the expansion of its base, the Western Wall being part of it. So this is what I begin to tell y'all, that wall that they are praying to, first of all, that's Fort Antonia. But that's a temple that the Most High would destroy, which is how you know that that's not the second temple. Because according to Matthew 24, Yahushua said that not one stone will be left and remain. And we know that the Most High is not a lie. So they are not over there praying to the temple. They are praying to the Roman Fort Antonia. Despite Herod's success, including single-heartedly forgiving a new autocracy from practically nothing, he has still been criticized by various historians, blah, 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 blah. So he was the coordinator of the massacre of the innocents. It's essential to know that the massacre of the innocents is recorded in Matthew 2:16 through 18. And this is when all of the male children who are 2 years and under in the vicinity of Bethlehem to be killed. And so this is how you know that during the time that Yahushua was born, Saul was too. They were born around the same time. And though Saul was in Tartarus, it's essential to know that that was a Roman providence. And by Herod working with the Romans, even though, Pilate and them did not get along at first throughout the band, but Paul was not impacted by this at all. So for him to even make the assertion that he was born and raised and grew up in the temples, but Gamaliel and all of that, these people were in Jerusalem. So his son, Herod Antipas, led to the execution of Yochanan the Baptist and of Yahushua of Nazareth, Matthew 14. And his grandson, Herod Agrippa, in Acts 12. So it's very important to know that in Acts 13, the Apostle Paul is revealed to be a kinsman and to have grew up with Herod, as well as with Lucian the Greek. In Romans 6:3-9, the Apostle Paul begins to refer to the Herodians as his family. Okay? Upon his death in 4 BC, and this is when Paul was born, the Romans divided his kingdom amongst 3 of his sons. See? So when Paul was born, his sons were divided his kingdoms by the Romans. So this begins to show you that they began to work with one another. So I'm not finna do no super long video. I just want y'all to know that the Herodian dynasty were the kings during this time. When we begin to look at Herod Antipas, reigning from 20 BC to 39 AD, this is during the time of Yahushua. He was the son of Herod the Great and the grandson of Antipas the Idumean. See, these are Idumeans. These are Edomites and Ishmaelite Nabateans. And so he was recognized as tetrarch by Caesar Augustus. And he officially ruled Galilee and Perea as client of the Roman Empire. He was responsible for building projects at Sepphoris. And when they began to state that there is a Roman soldier by the name of Pantera, and he was from Sepphoris. So he also ruled from Tiberias and the Sea of Galilee. Yeah, we ain't gonna go too far with this, but Yahushua was definitely not king during his time.